Hello. Um, I like how probably none of my regulars see my silly, like the 5 seconds of silly opening that I have at the beginning of every stream. The people who watch later, well, I imagine there's a small handful of people who like watch later and actually watch the whole thing and are like invested with the series. And I imagine a much bigger pool of people who like check in, watch 15 minutes of the whole thing, and then check out. It's funny to me that it's probably mostly that second group of people who see me make silly faces at the camera at the beginning. Hello, Wereworm. How goes it? Yeah, so now that Wereworm is here, the most important part. What I'm thinking is, I put it in the description, but I'm gonna re-describe it here as well. Let's just take a step back from all of this floppy hardware craziness, stress, heartbreak, and let's just slap the Gotek in there and play with booting software off the Gotek. Because, I mean, that should be really easy to accomplish. We just have to decide, how do we decide that floppy is bootable, which I'll probably just do like another boot signature thing, just like on an IBM floppy. But we'll use our own boot signature. And, I mean, that's it. We'll just, like, I can assemble a boot sector and slap it into a disk image and load it, see if the last 2 bytes are my boot signature, and then just like jump to the beginning of the sector buffer. And then maybe someday we'll upgrade it so that we can read different sectors rather than just sector 0. But for now, that'll be a fun thing, is just like, let's do a hello world booter. And that is the fun thing, is we should be able to like just keep changing that code pretty easy just by popping out the thumb drive and jamming it in and moving the disk image over and then jamming it back in. And I was going to say, without having to move the EEPROM back and forth, but as I described that, it sounds like about the same process. So, whatever. But this is also still fun. And this is much more fun than just struggling with these pieces of shit. With these pieces of shit! No, everything will be okay. I need to solve you. But I think maybe we'll save solving you until like next week, when I've had a nice break from being around you. Mama and Papa need some time apart so that we can love each other more. And into the garbage pile you go. The pile of maligned floppies over here behind my keyboard. Sad guys. Anyway, let's put in Gotek. The silly thing I want to try first, if today is just going to be a day of silly things, is I want to just plug this in and see if we actually get enough juice bleeding back in over the floppy connector that this thing will like work without any PSU power. Probably not, because it's gonna, my guess is the biggest thing is, even if it is enough power, this thing has to boot and read the images off the thumb drive first. So probably we'll have timeouts and crap, but I mean, all we have to do is plug it in and hit the power button and see what happens. So I just want to do that. It might not work at all. Because the lights are very dim, so I assume it's quite marginal. Let's just wait. The thing is, this didn't even blink, so it's probably not even sending enough current for this thing to turn on. Worm says, I mean, it already destroys floppies, so this is the thing. I'm doing it without power just to see if it'll work. It looks like that's a hard no. I think it's probably sitting in those very, very fat timeout loops that I wrote now. Would be my assumption. Oh well, I just wanted to try that for shits and giggles. Anyway, okay, you can have power. You can have power. I assume it probably only needs 5 volts, right? Presumably. Let's see. That looks good. Yeah, there we go. Cool. And then let's do the yon old check. O3FE doot doot. Oh, 55AA. Lovely. Super cool. All right, let's make our own disk images. Actually, first, let me update this boot ROM so that it is a boot ROM, which will read the floppy and say, "Are you a bootable floppy?" and subsequently write a floppy image that has some silly shit on it. Okay. I'm thinking, you know what would be the best way to go about this is firstly, like I said, should be straightforward, should just be like, update this so that if read sector succeeds, then we don't jump to the monitor. Well, if read sector succeeds, then read the last 2 bytes, see if there's something. I'm thinking, what, maybe just 1, 2, 3, 4, fuck it. Would be funny. I mean, we could also use AA55, but what fun is that? And I could also put it anywhere on the sector, I realize this. I could make, like, the first couple bytes the boot signature, but... yeah. I don't know. Doesn't really matter. Anyway, so, check those bytes. If they correspond to what we want for a bootable disk, then literally just jump to, you know, address 2000, and there you go. And that's it. But the other fun thing, so don't let me forget about this, is I think I will hard code store the location of the print string and print character routines so that we can, like, have BIOS routines, because how freaking cool would that be? Ooh, also, okay, because Dave was talking a bit about break stuff when I was deciding I might try and use break to do, like, there was an error, please do a stack trace thing. What if we use break as, like, our syscall mechanism? I mean, I think that's, like, pretty much what it's supposed to be there for, so I don't think that's crazy. But yeah, that could be fun. Use break as our syscall mechanism, and then have, like, a dispatch table that calls into print char if there's, you know, a certain value and whatever was passed. Yeah, that sounds fun. Let's do that. Because those things should both be fun and easy to implement, so we can just do them. So I guess over to Codeland now. And VS Code, let's see if you have everything that I remember you having. Alrighty. So, yeah. Because this is also fun, because this is progress, you know? It's like, there are things we need to figure out about the hardware floppy drives, but, like, this is playing around, and it's more fun, but also a bunch of this, like, once we get the read sector shit working on the actual floppy drive, it's still applicable, and we can still use this code, so. Granted, this is probably all subject to change because, and maybe tomorrow, that will be the fun thing we can do tomorrow, is start looking at, what was it called, DOS 65 source and whatnot, and see, like, what that uses for a boot. Well, I guess for a disk format in general. I guess it uses the, like, whatever the CPM disk format is, so. But anyway, and then we can play with starting to boot one of those images and providing the correct, like, system stuff so that it can run. Which I'm not sure if we put in the onboard BIOS or if we put that on the floppy. Anyway, maybe that's what we'll do tomorrow. Today we read a sector and we jump into it. Because we can. So, you know, as an antithesis to what I was just saying a minute ago, that's actually not going to be super applicable to the later things that we're going to do here, but just don't worry about that. Where is my entry point? It is called enter, or is it called entry? It is called entry. Oh, I was right there, and I was reading through all of this initialization stuff that I forgot was there, and I was going, isn't this after my entry? No, it wouldn't be after your entry. That wouldn't make any goddamn sense. So, for starter blarders, here's attempt to read sector, Okay, so here's the jump in it for the sector was read properly. And we are really not going to do that. What I'm going to do is load a directly from 30E, no, 03FE. There we go. And compare that with 1.2. And branch if not equal to, let's call this go to monitor. There we go. And then we can reuse this jump init as our go to monitor branchity do. Then we do the same thing, load a O3FF, compare it with, what did I say? That was going to be 1234 is our special secret magic number. And if it wasn't equal to that, then we go to monitor. But finally, if we read the sector, we checked those bytes match our super secret special code, then it's literally just jump to 2000. That's it. Or no, 0200. That's it. Because that's where the sector is going to be. And we have 512 bytes of code now. Well, 510, because we can't use those last two bytes unless, you know, there's some super clever way that we can use them, because that is a thing that has historically been done with assembly programming, is making bytes both usable as instruction code and usable data for the instruction code. But I don't need to be that clever, because by the time that I need that much space, I'm sure we will be calling the read sector BIOS routine. Ooh, isn't that fancy? So now that we've got that, that's literally it for this guy. And my next step is just to take the USB, stick it in there, and screw up the first sector in a fun way. That will put something on the screen, if things work. If things work. Let's build. Also, did I say hi, Lawless? Because, yeah. Wareham said, make it also a command in the monitor so you can trigger it without reboot. Damn, that's a really good idea. Okay, we'll do that too, after I do this initial pass. Yeah, we're gonna have to make like a re-enter BIOS call, a re-enter monitor command available to do that, because otherwise we can't get into the monitor after we've, yeah. But yes, very yes. Wareham says, what? No check for code signature by a valid CA certificate? Yeah, it's we're not going to be secure per HTTPS standards. I regret to inform you. And Cliff Cheney says, hey, Cliff Cheney, we're going to have a fun time today, a fun, relaxed time. Right. So this is done. Sorry, just trying to decide. Do I want to just go ahead and implement break stuff now? We'll do that in a bit. I want to be running code off of this floppy drive ASAP. So, therefore, right, we built this. We're done. Let's go move it over. Shoop-a-doop-doop-a-dee-doop-a-dee-doop. Let's, I guess this, and I guess this, and I guess this. And once we have done that, we proceed to this, and we click this, and we enter 1 in here, and we click this, and we click this, and once we have clicked that, we click this. Cliff Cheney said, did the other floppy also fail a test? Yes, even worse, even harder than the first floppy did. The first floppy at least gave us some garbage bytes. I think the second floppy just like straight up, it just hung, or some shit. I don't know. It was equally bad. So we're just ignoring it for now. The Datonic committed Sudoku. Hypnopunk says, good luck! Thank you, Hypnopunk. I need all the support I can get to get myself through this very important project. All of the stress involved, completely warranted. One of the main things about this project. Okay, that's in there. And we can't, well, I guess we can test if we power it on, it should like read a sector and then just go immediately to the monitor as usual. Yeah, and just to make sure. O3FE, 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 yeah. All right, and that's what I would expect, because if it's not bootable, I want it to go to the monitor. So, into the computer we go. And for speed purposes, I think for now I am literally just going to Open this in a hex editor. I wonder. Did I ever install XVI32 on here? I sure as hell did. Excellent. So I'm thinking what I can do is just use the quick online assembler for 6502 and just manually edit this file for right now, because that's just the fastest way to play around with it. And I'm just playing around right now, man. That's all I'm doing. So here's our fun stuff. Let us look for our AA55, or is it 55AA? We literally just looked at this, and I turned off the NES. Brilliant. I think it's 55AA. Yeah, it's definitely 55AA. 55AA. That seems right. Yep. One FE and one FF, and then this is the beginning of the next sector. Brilliant. So let's start by changing this to 1, 2, 3, 4. Cool. And then let's start super duper 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 super duper simple. And let me just assemble. I like how it's so close to the top. I can't even use the scroll bar to scroll it to the top. Anyway, let's go to the online assembler. Online 6502 assembler. And I'm just going to assemble a branch halt loop. We will expand, but for now, if we have the drive plugged in, should boot. Ooh, you know what? We can make two images actually. Let's make them exactly the same. One won't have the boot signature, one will have the boot signature. If we select the one, and vice versa. So, label. You know what? Clear carry label. Branch carry clear. Label. Ensemble. Very good. That is going to be 1890FE. 1890FE. I was typing in the wrong area. Oh well. 1890FE. Cool. So that should hang forever. So with this image in the drive, that should hang forever. It should say read a sector and then just hang. And then let us save as this bad boy. Save it as disk image 1. Or just cancel it, whatever. Save as disk image 1. There we go. And go to 1FE. 1FE, 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 and I don't know. 0000? Sure. Or, for even more funny, 55A. Okay, so let us rudely yank this drive from the machine. Cliff Cheney said, is that an 18 or a 19? Shit, did I put in 19? Did I? Is that what I did? Damn it. Damn it! I think it was that 90 that screwed me up. Okay, back in you go. Let's see how horribly this screws things up. Horribly and hilariously. 18. Save. It's thinking about it. It really depends on how the application is written, whether this actually works or not. Whoa, it did it! Amazing. Yeah, whether it tries to keep a file handle open or if it just tries to open the file by path every time. Okay, so that was our not bootable. Let us edit our bootable. Same thing. Thank you for the correction. And let us read some things. Dirt Piper says 44 minutes left until the big hungry ends. How are things progressing here? Are you on a fast? This is probably something I should be aware of, especially if it's like religious or cultural. I have no religion or culture, so I need it to be explained to me. Or if you're just, fasting. Or if I'm completely way off. Oh, it is Yom Kippur. That's right. I don't know what people fast for. I didn't know if Yom Kippur was a fasting holiday. Yom Kippur should have occurred to me though. I knew that. So happy Yom Kippur, and that's the Jewish New Year, correct? I believe. Anyway, Lola said, "I'm surprised there is zero alcohol involved in this process. I could not do this sober." That's not always true. It's only true when I haven't gone to the trouble of going down the street to the corner store. There is usually, on good nights, there is often a beer or two involved. Misty Wiss, of the messed up name that we will never let them live down, but also we told them to keep it, so it's a war fought from both sides, says, "I am back," so Cliff Cheney correcting me. Hypnopunk said, "Closing chat, clicking like, then reopening chat really helps smaller channels get noticed." Oh, that's a good note. Yeah, I don't know what drives interaction, and I mean, frankly, the only way in which I'm concerned about driving interaction is in, like, if there's somebody who would be interested in this, helping them, like, find it, because I'm not about, like, it's cool to see my viewer numbers and stuff go up, and, you know, I make a couple bucks every month, like, literally a couple bucks. I did just hit $100. I think I've had monetization on for a little over 2 months, and I hit $100, and you have to have at least $100 to cash out. That $100 is only there because the 6816 video blew up so much. I can tell you, on each of these streams, I mean, you can see the numbers. Like, at the end of the day, when they finally, like, tail off, there's maybe 200 views on each of these. And I literally have about 5 cents of monetization from them. But whatever, it's fun. That's not the point, is my point. I just, the reason that I stream is because I would have found something like this cool. And I do. I find other people who stream this kind of thing cool. So that's the only thing. I just want to make that clear. Damn it. Dirt Piper said, "Nope, Rosh Hashanah is the new year." Uh-huh. Again, like I said, no religion, no culture. I am a idiot bastard man. My apologies. Patrick Burke says, "Just got here. I take it it's going well, given the title." Yes and no. We're just in denial. We're just gonna go ahead and use the Gotek to implement some fun stuff so that we can actually have a stream of fun stuff going on. Dirt Piper says Yom Kippur is the Day of Atonement. That would make sense, what with the fasting and all, I suppose. Misty Wiss says, "Really?" Hypnopunk says, "Exactly. I wish I was told about your channel earlier." Yeah, so like I said, totally, I'm not gonna, like, push anybody to, like, be clicking the bell and whatnot. Not that I'm not even, like, I love YouTube comment and YouTube as a platform generally, so I'm not even, like, sour about all the clicking the bell bullshit. It's just I don't have a reason to engage with it. But go for it if you think it helps. Wereworm says, "This will help send your kid to college by bus. One way." That's it. And the fun thing is, I bought a new lens for this DSLR last month when I was like, "Oh, I've made it over $50. I guess I'll spend $30 on a used lens that actually is EF mount and has autofocus, so that my face can actually be in focus." Yes. Anyway, that's all of that. That is chat. I've saved both of these, right? Right. Yes. Okay. Yanking the drive, plugging it in, seeing what happens, having a good old time. And let's see, because again, haven't really used a Gotek, so theoretically, oh right, shit, that's a pain in the ass. The buttons, the first button ratchets up the ones digit, the second button ratchets up the tens digit, and both of them ratchet up the hundreds digit, so you have to have the whole fucking thing wrap. I forgot about that. Whoops. It's not up and down. It's what I just described. Okay, so disk image 0 should be the bootable one. Let's see if that's true. That does not appear to be true, as it turns out. Oh. I did have the jump code in there, right? We'll check in a minute. Because it would be funny if it's not jumping at all. Anywho. Oh, also I should wait 1 second. Let me make sure I'm not a complete moron, because I may have accidentally saved over the bootable with the non-bootable. Nope, it has 1, 2, 3, 4 in there. So, trouble. 03. Damn you. 03 FE. Oh. Really? Huh? What? The fuck is wrong with you? Did I... Wait. I mean, 1FE is where that would be, right? Huh. Vayafu says, adding an OLED display makes the Gotek bearable. Yeah, it seemed like that when I was looking at them. But I got the cheap one, because I'm not going to be using this, right? Not going to be using it very much. Let us turn this off, switch this to disk 1, see if it does anything. Because boy, I should not be getting a 55AA at all, ever. 03 FE. Okay. That's what I would expect. There should be a 00 at the end of that one. Ooh, also let's check just for good measure. 0200. Oh, okay. There's just no floppy image there. Neato burrito. Does the Gotek like load the image into internal flash or something when you select one? That would probably make sense and explain why we have the old... Well, actually, I could definitely figure that out if I just do this. Okay, no. Alright, so let's just look at the data on this bad boy. Because I don't know how to use a Gotek. That is where we are. Open the 000. And make sure at 1 FE we have 1, 2, 3, 4. And 200, because that's 2 times, oh god, 16 times 16. Which I assume 16 times 16 is 256. It's gotta be. That is the only thing that would make sense. Because FF is 255. Right. Yes. I'm smart. So yes, 1FE is the end of the first sector. So something real funky is up around here. And it's mostly that I don't know how to use a Gotek. Oh no. Oh, it did read a sector. Did it really? What the fuck? Maybe it's just because it was sitting there waiting to like see if there was a USB drive before it was willing to say, just use whatever I already have loaded. Let's find out. I'm glad I didn't switch to my monitor, which was a complete accident, but 03. You know, key repeats don't happen very often, but I'm not guarding against them. 03 FE doot doot. No, it is just throwing straight up garbage my way. That's fun and interesting. That is actually quite interesting. 0200. Yeah, just weird garbage. That's fun. Maybe it's just when it doesn't have anything in there, it attempts to act like a floppy with nothing under the head. Okay. Red Kick said, my ASMR stream is here. Cliff says, we need a light to let him know to look. Or a beep. I would legitimately host a website here that just links to something lighting up a big light bulb. Because I've told my wife, because of course she often needs my attention when I'm down here, and I'm just off in my own world, ignoring her entirely like a jerk. So I was saying I should just like make a big, it should be a big police like spinny light thing, and just give her a way to turn it on so that I can tell that something needs to be done. So maybe I could have one for wife and one for chat needs my attention. I think that would be ideal. Just read the messages aloud with Microsoft Sam. Actually, also that. I have to look at the YouTube API to see what kind of fun like chat reading bot I could write. Francois says, plop. Gerald says, hi, still falling over successfully, I see. It was working 2 seconds ago. I just don't know how to use a Gotek. Ah, the old heart attack generator, says Red Guy. Okay, I can't keep reading chat all day. Come on, guys. Come on now. I need to read how to use a Gotek. How to use... Oh, you know what? Actually, I'll be right back. It came with a little card that has, like, the actual Gotek website with the actual menu for, like, the vanilla firmware. So let me... Be right back. Okay, your boy's back. Now serve web pages from that floppy, says Francois. You joke, but I have a an Arduino Ethernet shield kicking around somewhere around here that I just picked it up at Radio Shack when things were super on sale. I have never in my life owned an actual Arduino, for the record, which is funny. Only teensies and Raspberry Pis and various other things. Never an actual Arduino. But I bought the shield because I was like, I mean, it's just an SPI thing. But I've never used it, so I mean, don't tempt me. All right, let us just really quickly not be able to read this because my Japanese is terrible. Shinai naru, something heavy, not okyakusama. I've already read the back, so I already know what this says, but Shinai is beloved, or at least that's what I understand. It literally means parent love. And naru is to become. So, whatever this is, which I assume is like important, because this one is heavy, omoi, and oh, thanks for not having any focus, camera. Anyway, you don't have to. You can believe me or not. So I assume this means important, because it's also used in same kanji in juten, I think, for like important, emphasized. So shinai naru juten na okyakusama. So okyakusama is like guest. So important guest who has become beloved, he said in his completely garbage understanding of Japanese. Ya, I am not familiar with that one, but apparently it means hi. This has become Joe reads you Japanese stuff. I have been studying Japanese for so long, and I have no use for it. So just like bear with me. Okaimono, so that's your honorable shopping. Arigatou gozaimasu. Thank you very much. Manual to software ga is that hitsuyo? Is that what it is? I think this is hitsuyo, which is required. Because it would be manual to software ga hitsuyo na bai wa, which would be in the case that the manual and software become necessary. 次のウェブサイトからダウンロードしてください, which is the following or the next website from, please download, which we're going to in a second. Arigato. And then I didn't know, like this one annoys me again. I don't know, you like totally can't read those, but this kanji is used for lasting peace and happiness. Shiawase. This is used for to transport or carry from place to place. It is used in hakobaru. Together, they mean jack shit to me, which is why kanji are super fun. And then onori shitemasu. This is a prayer. So maybe maybe it's like happiness, conveyed happiness. We pray for like happiness to be transferred to you. There you go. There's your Japanese for the day. Dear valuable customer, hi, thanks for your shopping. If you need the manual and the software, please download in this website, goteksystem.com. Thank you, best wishes. The fact that I search for Gotek and that website isn't the first thing that comes up is real fucking weird to me. Anyway, let's go there. www.goteksystem.com. I said this was going to be a fun nonsense stream, so I don't know what you expect from me. If you didn't expect this, then I don't know who you are, frankly. You got this far. Okay, many features, lots of features. It has a page on features. I don't want to know about features. Okay, operation: format USB flash drive. Use built-in self-format function to format the floppy drive into 1,000 pieces partitions. Well, that can't be translated right. Use software in CD format USB flash drive under Windows XP 2000 into 00. Wait, what? What? You partition it? Everyone is a partition? Honestly, that's fucking cool. It's stupid. It's stupid and not a good way to do things, but I love how jank that is. And then... Really? Okay. Okay, fascinating. So it's you literally need to partition this thing into floppy disk sized partitions, and then like I could DD this shit in Linux. That's fun because that's what I want to do. Neat. I immediately see Hypnopunk says you don't need to read every comment. That's where you're wrong as hell. This is what brings me joy day to day. It's just reading people their own comments. Yeah. Let me scroll up a little bit because Patrick Burke says, talk amongst yourselves. Vaihapu said, I think most people use the open source flash floppy firmware on the Gotek. Yeah, that's what Dave was pointing me to a couple episodes ago, but I don't feel like flashing this Gotek right now. So I think the easiest way is to slap, is just to bring my old Linux laptop over here and just start fucking with the disk file. Web gopher or bust, says Red Gek. Okay, I'm gonna come back and read a whole bunch of these, but I must leave you again because I could ostensibly, there are ways for me to do raw reads and writes onto the floppy device here, but I don't want to do that. That sounds awful. Unless, no, that sounds awful. Let me just, we will like use gparted on this thing really quick and make a couple partitions and then manually twiddle their bits. Okay, I'll be right back. Have to remember where I put that laptop. It's somewhere around. We got it. All right, now how do we make this a streamable thing? Let's kill power here. Scoot these things out of the way. Add them to the pile. And just take this keyboard and just fucking, I don't know. There you go. And the classic bad boy is here. Let's yeah. As featured in many classic videos. The old Kubuntu machine. All right. What is my password? Unlocking failed. Already we're off to a great start. Uh-oh. Really? I haven't logged into this laptop in a while, but really? There we go. Okay, whatever. Let's hope that that is not sensitive information from the Secretary of State, and close it very quickly. And why do I even have Chrome up in the first place? I mean, I know why. It's because my wife was using the computer, and that is fine. But I don't need it. No more. Gpart. Do I have it on here? No. Do I have K? What do I even have? The fun thing is you can probably see the screen slightly better than I can. It's a really shit screen. Let's see if I can remember my password again. Yay! Success. All right, and scan for devices. Refresh devices. I like how neither of us can see this well, because for me, the screen is like blacked out, and for you, it's not in focus. So we're all having a fun time here. This guy, yes, let us. New partition table. Let's go MS-DOS. That seems like probably the most supported kind of thing. New primary partition. File system. FAT12. Let's go with FAT12. Not that it will really matter. I'm going to call it 000. And I am going to make it 1.44 MB. You think that's allowed? You think that's how that works? Do you think I have to write 1.44 OK? No, surely that's fine, right? And I'm not sure that the emulator even really cares. Let's just try making two partitions for now and see how well that works. 001. FAT12. Again, it doesn't fucking matter. Free space before. None. Size. Hello, please. 1.44 megs. Okay. Cool. Apply. Do it. I dare you. In the meantime, maybe some chats. So Redkick had said, "Web, Gopher or bust." I have never once used Gopher. Maybe that should be one of our fun Fridays. Oh, actually, I missed a bunch above that. Jeez. Oh, jeez. Jeez. Okay, so I know I saw Patrick Burke send the Dearest Customer one. Oh, good lord. Okay, here we go. I have to read like half of the stream. Let's see if I can keep up today. Oh, no, okay. I guess it scrolled weird. I don't know. Talk amongst yourselves, blah, blah, blah. Go for a bust. Be nice for an injection mold case for that drive, then indie games, says Mark W., making absolutely 0 sense. Apologies if you are a real person. I hope I am not hurting your feelings. But for the record, that didn't make any sense. Cliff Cheney said, I had a Mac Plus web server in my office a long time ago. Missed that little guy. Good lord, I hope you like took it out back and put it out of its misery. It must have been crying. Hypnopunk said you don't have to read every comment, which I have now read twice, just to increase the irony. Francois Reval says, well, there's Kentucky. There is a Kentucky NES port somewhere, and Kentucky has a built-in web server, so is there a Kentucky NES port? We were kind of asking about this a few episodes ago. And then Redgex said, did not expect a weeb stream. The funny thing is, I have pretty strongly grown out of anime. It's just that I am intent on learning at least one other language, and I had already started learning Japanese because I lived in Japan when I was a teenager. No offense to weebs. Weebs are fine people. I mean, you know, some weebs are fine people. Some other weebs are not fine people. They're people. Patrick Burke said, dearest customer. And Wereworm said, I think this is just a printout of the Matrix screensaver sideways. You are probably correct. All right. That's one batch. We will get back to it because the formatting is done. And now I have to figure out what the... Oh, it was telling me what the device names were, and I closed it. Yo, I've remembered my password 3 times in a row now. How good is that? SDB 1 and 2. That makes sense. To the terminal, folks. And can I... Yes, I can. Make it almost readable for you guys. Almost. Maybe. Let us... Just real quick. Cat... /dev /SDB1... put that into OD-T1X, I think was what we said. And then take that and run it through more, just because I want to see. Of course, I am... Really? Was it just TX? I don't think it was. Anyway, let's just sudo that shit. And AA55. Cool. So, that is what I would have hoped for. So now, shoot, what is the KDE sudo command? Ksudo? Ksudoku. That's the one. Do I have gsudo? GTK sudo? What is the... Or is it GTK su? What is the name of that command? Nope. That is not a thing. Okay. Because what I would like to do is just use ghex, which I believe I have on here. Yes, I do. But I want to run it as root so that I can... Oh, I guess I can probably just chown that device, right? Duh. Chown jmarlin dev sdb1. Probably need to do that as sudo. That would probably be a great idea. And same thing for sdb2. And then now I should be able to ghex dev sdb1 and it's thinking about it? Maybe? There's a ghex window. There is nothing in it. Okay, well, how about we just cat dev sdb1 to, I don't know, floppy 000.img. There we go. Good enough. Ghex floppy 000.img, and then we'll just cat it back the other way when we're done here. I'm sorry, I don't know how to blow this up. Whoopsie, whoopsie. Anyway, 1, 2, 3, 4, and let's see if I can remember. It was 1890FE? That seems right. The only thing I'm not sure about is that FE, but it's probably FE, because that would be -2. I'm definitely not over here cheating and looking at the other hex editor. 1890FE. Lovely. Okay, and then I'm just gonna save, and then I'm just gonna kill it, and then I'm just gonna cat floppy OOO.image to dev SDB1, and presumably that worked. Let's do that sweet hack. 3412. Okay, but that makes sense because this is presumably, with the way they're gathered, printing a 32-bit value. But then you'd think that I'm not going to worry about it. That looks mostly right. So let's do the same thing with SDB2. Cat SDB2 to floppy1 dot image. Oh, you know what I could probably do if I was smart is like set up VMware on that machine, put Linux on it. Actually, do you have access to USB disks on Windows Subsystem for Linux? Because I haven't messed with it extensively. Anyway. Because being able to just do this on that computer would be nice. But regardless, let us insert our same old 1890FE. And then down somewhere. What's with these addresses? Oh, wait. This is the first byte. Weird. Okay. Ghex, you need to put a space between the end of the address and the first byte, bud. 90FE. Now, 1FE please. 1FE 55AA. And, oh wait, no, right, the joke was that we were going to keep it as 55AA. The funniest joke ever written. Okay, let me write that, and then I am going to cat it on back, but then let me also check that I wasn't off by a byte at the beginning there on the first partition. Cat SDB1 to floppy OO. Ghex it. No, that one I actually got right. Weird. Whatever. Anyway, so this drive should be good to go now, theoretically. I guess I will remove it in hopes that there is nothing left in the buffer here. Fingers crossed. And plug this in and turn it on and grip it and rip it. And maybe read some more comments. Because I bet... I can't see them right now because I'm scrolled up. So I bet they're pretty good right now. Because I am doing extra foolishness. Okay, brother. Power on here. Power on here. All right, still didn't work. Let's see. What was I going to do? O3FE. Let's see what the end of this thing looks like. Zeros. 0F. All fifth. Well, that's off the end of the floppy, but. O200. And just nonsense garbage. Neat. Cool. So even the Gotek manual is not describing this properly. So let me catch up with chat and see if anybody has anything interesting to say, because what the shit. Hypnopunk said to Cliff Cheney, Cliff Cheney, the first computer I bought was a Mac Plus, which was later upgraded to 2.5 megs of RAM. What a vast amount. Lala said, I love how download is split into 2 words on that website. Well, they just want to be clear. You're going to load it down. Patrick Burke says, ARM Cortex M3 or M4, which is it, Gotek? Redgeck says, whichever you got because of the supply chain being in ruins. Ouch. And then Vaihapu. Yeah, now I'm catching up with some stuff I had seen before. Vaihapu said, I think most people use the open source Flash floppy firmware instead. And I said Dave was recommending that, but I don't feel like flashing it. Mark says, NES zip disk by 8-bit dough. There we go. Okay, now you're making sense. Hypnopunk said, yes, every image is probably a partition. I have floppy emulators like it. Well then, explain this to me, Hypnopunk! Mark says, anyone can dream. Redkick says, just use cassette tapes. Honestly, yes, in the back of my head. I also have, several non-working reel-to-reels that my friend gave me. They're not good ones. They're like they're not like a nice, upright, hi-fi reel-to-reel. They're like portable, your grandpa's reel-to-reel. But saving data to that would be fun. Cliff Cheney said, whoa, it's 12:17 a.m. already. Damn, Cliff. Well, you stay as long as you can. Vihapu says, Flash Floppy lets you have them in simple files on a fat partition. Yeah, I mean, you think I can flash this thing with my XG Pro? Because if so, then maybe we'll just do that. Cliff Cheney said, did it say to make 1,000 partitions, or was that the size? It seemed to be saying 1,000 partitions. Because you can have, the display will show up to 999, 000 to 999, so I assume that's why 1,000. Scanning. Renegek says, oh yeah, I want to see this PC. Cliff Cheney, when I was trying to figure out my password, Cliff Cheney, try track 0, access granted. He's in the mainframe. Dirt Piper says, may want to edit out those few seconds from the VOD. No, it was just an appointment confirmation number. Wereworm says, that reminds me that my beloved ThinkPad is turning 10 years old now. I mean, it's an i7, how can it be so old already? I know. I bought this thing, I treated myself to this laptop right before I moved to New York. I was like, I'm going to throw $700 into a refurb laptop, really treat myself. And it blows my mind that it is around 10 years old now. Patrick Burke says, try sudo rm-rf to partition the Gotek. I'll try that next. Yeah, that sounds good. I see no problems with that. Redgeck says, until very recently I was running a 10-year-old Xeon as my main daily battle station. Some of those Xeon workstations they hold their own, man. A buddy of mine is doing a bunch of work on a, I don't know what revision cheese grater Mac Pro, but I mean, those things, if you kit them out, like, they're still close to being a pretty decent daily driver machine. Because they were so OP in the day and so freaking upgradable. Cliff Cheney says, I have a bad ThinkPad X200 I need to fix, probably the power brick, but it hasn't had any life for a long time. That sounds like a fun weekend project for someday. Francois Reval says, oh, I have a T532, but I installed a proper keyboard instead of the crappy chiclet. I don't mind that keyboard, honestly. Like, it's still decent. But yeah, it's not. I have a actually, I believe, because I bought it on purpose this way, is I think it's the last IBM ThinkPad, or close to it. Like one of, if it wasn't the last, it is like the second to last or something. And it still has the old style keyboard on it. It's a nice machine. Oh, it's the one that I run BSD on, if you saw the previous, and if you saw older real videos. Oh goodness. Redgeck says, Patrick Burke, ZSH, command not found sudo. DOAs for life? I don't know what DOAs are. Worm says, my other computer is a Core 2 Quad 2007. I have a server over here that's I think it's a Core 2. And it works just fine. Running a couple Docker containers. Cliff Cheney says, what is this GUI nonsense? We're here for the command line pain. Redgeck says, I like pain. Francois Reval said, used a T510 for 10 plus years, tried to find a replacement, tried a W541, which was utter crap, finally found a not too bad T530, sans NVIDIA, which is already a challenge, had to swap the keyboard. Yes, mine also does not have the NVIDIA chip on it, but I don't really use it for playing games anyway. Redgeck says, my home server is an Athlon 2 Neo. Jesus. Coding Projects and Stuff says, what distro he run? It's Kubuntu. I don't remember what release now. Because I like KDE, even though I loved KDE back in the day. I love KDE 3. I used to have Trinity, which is the KDE 3 fork for modern machines on some laptop somewhere. And I don't know, I just love that shitty old school. It's also because that's I think the first distro I ever ran was, like the like 2001 Knoppix that had, of course, KDE. It was probably KDE 3. I don't think it was KDE 2. And they had just introduced. Was it ceramic? Was the theme the one where the title bars, like the title bar text was in like a big oval bubble, and that's my nostalgia. So that's probably why. But yeah, I'm a KDE guy, especially because I basically have to stick with KDE, which honestly I think current Plasma is pretty good, but because GNOME is a fucking garbage fire. Anyway, I am sorry, I don't know how to blow this up. Just stab the battery with a screwdriver. I'll think about it. Patrick Burke was gonna say WSL, yeah. Cliff Janey says not bare metal or death. Red Kick says virtualization is a sin. Just run sync. I don't know what sync is. Wereworm said bare metal is dead since they invented Intel Management Engine. I would not be surprised if there was a BSD running in ring -1 or something. This is true, and it freaks me out. Especially like because every now and then the reason that I have OS Dev on my radar for the wiki wise for all the floppy drive controller stuff is because I was playing with that for a while, long ago, and when you get to the point where they say, yeah, this may screw up on modern machines because ring -1 system management BIOS stuff might be running under you and stealing CPU time and doing things to the hardware when you're not looking. So check for that. This might not be working if it's screwing those things up, and you'll have to compensate. When you get to that point, I just, no. Radikek says, that's why I'm slowly building me an M68K computer. Please beat me to it. I still have those chips sitting over there. I have a 68020 and the MMU. Hopefully they both still work, but someday. Francois Reval says, my dream computer would have SMP68K. 030 can definitely do it. SAD almost doesn't exist. That is true and sad. That's why I have 020s, which are not as good as the 030s, because the 030s have the MMU built in. They're way better in a lot of ways. But yeah, that would be nice. I wish I could remember the name of the project, because it just like popped onto my Twitter, and I was like, oh, that's interesting. But some cool lady was making a 68K, like kind of Atari-ish era DIY machine for sale, which it was expensive because it's a modern small run DIY machine, but it looked real freaking cool. Rick says, yeah, me too. I'm too dumb with hardware, though, barely keeping up with the 68K. I mean, it starts getting really complex once you get past the early 16-bit CPUs. It gets really, really bonkers. Redgeck says, I played VR on that Xeon, so yeah, it was good. Patrick Burke says, DOAs is for neck pierce, not GigaChads. Oh, Redgeck says, read DoAs as an OpenBSD replacement for sudo that is more sane. I see. I am only a partial mega nerd. I have never heard of that. Francois Reval says, ThinkPad chiclets are awful. Print screen at the worst position possible. No sysrec. Actually found its function S, and you can do sysrec X, but it's way convoluted. Yeah, I mean, I don't like laptop keyboards really in general because the laptop keyboard layouts suck ass. And they're not standardized is the worst thing. That's really it. It's not even just that the keys are badly placed. It's that there's no standard. So, like, the second I transplant to another laptop, my fingers are useless. Catching up. Dirt Piper says, big Motif fan. Yeah, I mean, it's just because it's Max Retro. I don't think it's even good. I just gravitate toward it. Redgeck says, Facewind running Motif ripoff right now. I actually, for a while, when I was getting into minimalist window managers, I was running MWM, and that was like motif. All you need is the right-click menu. Good shit. Sync syncs I/O buffers to block devices. Ah, of course, that sync. Francois says ME supposedly runs Minix. Right? Yes, that is true. It's not BSD. It is Minix. I forgot about that because that's a whole funny thing. Eric Stern says Google Foo led me to a forum with this info. Holding down both buttons while powering up the Gotek will format it. Ooh, let's try that. Sick. Redgeck says I only have two 6810s. So sad. I forget what the 6810 fixes because it's basically a 6800 with fixes, but I don't remember what the fixes are. Francois Reval says you're thinking about the Phoenix, I think. Redgeck says you're a mega giga nerd just for the streams. I may like obscure software, but I am not its zealot. Fair enough. I don't know if I would give myself that label, but that's mostly just because I'm not like a big I'm not a big Unix nerd. I wish I was, but for all the years that I've been using Linux, I can barely manage myself some bash scripting. Cliff Cheney says that's why I use an HHKB laptop all the time. Too many laptops, and I hate all the keyboard quirks. Yep. Redgeck says check out NSCDA for CDE motif ripoff. Is that fork off of CDE? Because you know, I have CDE installed on my BSD ThinkPad, which is freaking cool to me because, you know, BSD is actually Unix and CDE is actually a Unix GUI, so I love sticking them together. Oh, okay. Redgeck says the 6810 can use MMUs. He thinks, but that sounds right to me because I think it fixed whatever the problems were where when you have an interrupt or an exception, your CPU state is unrecoverable, or whatever. And Francois Reval says C256 Phoenix is the proper name. Oh yes, I didn't pick up what you were saying in that first one. Yeah, is the 68K machine that lady made. Super cool. Okay, Dave Cooter says nonsense. This can't possibly work. All right, Dave. I was waiting for you. That's what I was doing. We've mostly just been having a chatting, hanging out episode, just to chill and have fun, because it's been so much pain lately. I was getting back to the main point. We know the Gotek works in general, and I updated the firmware, my EEPROM, so that it'll read that sector and then look for my own special boot signature. And if it has it, supposedly it will jump into the beginning of the sector buffer for fun. But I don't know how to use a Gotek. I've been trying for a while to get two floppy images on the vanilla firmware, and it's been having none of it. So let me see about this auto format thing. Also, I opened the website, then immediately read the paper manual that came with the thing, then immediately went off on another escapade. So it's not like I'm giving this thing the best chance. That looks to be doing things. Neato burrito. Is it done? I do not know. It has stopped blinking. Let's plug it into the laptop and see what it looks like. Hopefully it has 1,000 partitions and it tries to enumerate every single one of them. Alright, let's see if I can remember that old password again. Yay. Alright. Let's look at how many SDBs I have. Really? What? Does it just format at FAT32? Is that all? Oh, wait. Do I also have to name these in a certain way? Let's see. How big is that? Oh, fuck. That's not what I meant to do. How big is that partition? Here, let's just use K partition, whatever that is called. Partition manager. See, isn't this way easier than just rewriting the EEPROM every time? Like, this is so much easier. Refresh devices. Okay. This is complete nonsense. Fascinating. What the hell? So we have a 530.41 gigabyte unallocated partition, then a 257.01 gigabyte unknown partition. What the absolute shit is going on here? And yet, really, lsdev sdb sd star and yet this sees a reasonable partition. Okay, yeah, so it formatted the whole thing to be okay, let me try one more thing real quick. Partition manager, because maybe I have to name them. Now again, I realize I could just look this up and it would take much less time, but get out of here. Properties. I am curious too what on earth it thinks. It says it's an MS-DOS partition table, even though it's absolute garbage nonsense. So let's try doing the same thing I did before, but giving them like partition names like fdisk 000 and fdisk 111 and so on and so forth. New partition table. There we go. MS-DOS. Do it. 2 new partitions. New. File system. FAT12. Label. This is where we steal this. fdisk 000. There we go. And make it 1.44 megabytes. And okay. And let's make another one. Because maybe it was that I didn't give them partition labels and it really didn't like that. Maybe? I don't know. Who knows? Somebody knows. Somebody knows and is screaming at their screen. And I am getting the biggest kick out of it. .44. Call it fdisk 001. And apply it. And let's see if that works any better. And also, I'm going to want to... Oh, that fucked up. Probably because shit was mounted. Whoops. Let's just redo all of that. Let me make sure that is not mounted anymore. Good, it is not. Whoopsie on that. New partition table done. New. Sorry. 1.44 MBIPs. FAT12, even though I'm going to overwrite the first sector anyway. Oh, right! That could be a partial issue. I guess it doesn't really matter, but I'm only... No, I cat the whole partition. I was thinking, did I just cat the first sector, and maybe it's an issue that I'm right, that it's only 512 megs big, but no, that is incorrect. Because I cat the whole dang thing. 1.44 megs, and where's that label? fdisk 000, okie dokie. New, same shit. fdisk 001, 1.44 megabytes, FAT12. I love when I select that. It undoes everything. Cool, thank you very much. Okay. And I had a label in there, and it just decided not to take it. fdisk 001. Okay. There we go. Apply. Do it. Come on, come on. You can do it. All right. Okay, sweet. Also, it would be really funny if it's something stupid like it has to be FAT32, even though it's a tiny little partition. Okay, so let's just try. Let's see, SDB. Yes, we have SDB1 and SDB2 again. Very good. Let us just cat our floppy images back onto there, try it one more time, see if it does a thing. If not, then we'll go ahead and read the manual, I guess. Oh, I guess I will do that with sudo. I'm not cool enough to use do as. .img to dev sdb1. Oh, because I'm root. Whoops. Jmarlin. There we go. And then 001 to sdb2. Okay, cool. And then yes, I will run a sync. It is synced. Very good. Yeah, I was wondering, just glancing at comments really quick, I was wondering myself, because like MS-DOS only supports 4 physical partitions, so yeah, I don't know. Reading. See what it does. Still fucks up. I bet for the same reasons. Let's see. 200. Let's start from there. What the living hell? That's the old floppy image again. That is so bizarre, and I love every minute of it. What the actual shit? That is fascinating, hilarious, and terrifying. Let me see if it does anything if I try and switch it to 001. Okay, same shit, but 020. Yeah, same thing. Now it's like, nah, there's nothing there, bro. Okay, all right, let's read the documentation and or chat, because chat usually tells me what to do. But yeah, let's actually look at this Gotek website. Why not? Products. Okay, a bunch of those things. I like how it told me to go to this website for the manual, and yet... Wow, this is real bad. How to format USB disk. That looks good. How to use format function built-in U100 version. I'm assuming this is what we have. This is just as useful as the sheet I have. Plug USB stick. Need FAT16 or 32 format on emulator. Keep the 2 buttons. Oh, wait. So this is the thing you were saying about the 2 buttons. Let's reformat this whole thing. Also, this is fascinating. Plug USB stick on emulator. Connect to computer. The emulator is the Gotek. Duh. Okay. All right. Maybe let's try letting this thing format itself again. But first, here, I'm going to do this in Windows because I can. Oh, and it's just going to freak out about all of these insane partitions. Booty doody doody doo. Which also means that it wasn't partitioned right after I cat shit onto it, so maybe that's an issue in and of itself. But disk management. Connecting to virtual disk service. This one. So let's just delete. Okay. And delete. You can do it. Yes, I would love to continue. And then reformat the whole thing FAT32 and then do that process. Huh. Interesting. I like how it just thinks the whole thing is a big old fat thing now. Let's format this. Sure. Yes. File system. FAT32. Sounds good to me. I'm going to have it do a... Should I have it do a quick format? I'm just going to have it do a quick format. And now, while that's going, even though it's already done, a little chat. Oh boy. Oh boy. Chat is popping tonight. Redgeck says, yeah, I'm running FreeBSD as my main, and CDE is a re-implementation based on FVWM. Gotcha. So not pure-blooded, he says. Actually switched back to my beloved i3, but kept the GTK CDE theme from it. Good times. Misty Wiz is back. Vaihapu says, CDE is still being developed today and is open source. I enjoy running on an SBSD. You and me both. What is the size of the FS on the USB drive now? Binwalk it? DF? No, I'm not going to do any of that because it's too late, because you're in the past. Redgeck says fdisk. Maybe it has a special partition table? Maybe, doubt it. Dave says, I suspect they do something stupid like the equivalent of cat star.image to dev SDB. Yeah, and then there was the question of the 1,000 partitions. Can it be done from Wereworm? Taco Man says, am I late? Well, we'll be here still for a little bit. I'm going over. This might be like a longer stream, though I have things to do tonight. So I don't think you're too late. Wereworm says, if there was a fairly low limit like 256 or something with GPT. I don't know. I don't know the details of GPT, so your guess is as good as mine. Wereworm said, or Redgeck said Wereworm, I think the guaranteed max is 128. Nice. I think it depends on UEFI, he says. Oh, really? Dave says 000 is the root of the drive. 001 through 999 are folders. Really? Interesting. Francois talking about primary partitions and extended. Dave says, actually this manual is bizarre. I'm fully aware, Dave. I've been looking at it. Redgeck says, according to Wikipedia, both Windows and Linux recognize 128 GPT partitions max. Windows USB noises flashbacks. The most dreaded sound when you're VR. When you're in VR. I'll have to take your word for it. I don't have a VR setup here. I'm too busy buying old computers. Dave Cooter says, I still suggest flash floppy and use an FT232 PL2303 cable to install it. I'm not familiar with either of those, unless an FT232 is literally like an FTDI. Is that what that is? Redkick says, ding dong, screen scope black. And Wereworm says, indexed mode in this mode, the file images must be named disk A00.hfe, blah, 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 blah. Note, the file extension can be one of the supported. Wereworm, I know what website you're on, and it didn't help me at all, because that is for a different firmware that we don't have on here. Oh, yeah, that is for the free floppy or whatever it's called that Dave is talking about. Maybe we'll do this. I'm just pissed that I can't make just the normal-ass Gotek. I just need 2 floppies! Okay, I'm gonna do this thing. It's formatted. Let's eject it, pop it out, try that format thing again. and just see what's up. See what we see. Because I feel like that last format was compromised. The last press 2 buttons thing. So let's see. So it says plug it in, keep the 2 buttons pressed, and power on. And then I think I let go. I think I might have held on too long. Might possibly be, because the screen looked weird. It was like cycling through and then it reset itself. But that also might have been because, you know, it was not formatted FAT32. Let's give it a try. Let's give it a shot. Maybe I do need to keep holding it down. Worm said, well, you don't know what firm tech is on your Gotek. I would assume it's whatever vanilla stuff comes with the frickin' Gotek. It's telling me things. It's blinking things. Okay, and this is what it was doing before. Kind of counting up. Do I hold this down until it goes to 1,000? It said it takes a minute or two. Do I just have to... Let's see. After format finished, it returns to 000, needs 1 or 2 minutes. Is it doing it again now? And when I let go, it stops. Guys, this is almost worse than the actual floppy drive. And I am angry at all of you. Let's see what the hell this looks like now. Red Geek says, assuming things is the root of all my problems usually. Yeah, that is very fair. That is fair. A random Amazon bought Gotek. I probably should not make assumptions. It might already have that firmware on it for all I know. LSDev, SDB star. Yeah, because we still just have this bad boy. Y'all want to flash some firmware? Because I'm at a loss. And this was supposed to be the fun one. For fuck's sake. What say we, actually... Let's take a step back, because we know it was loading the one image. And also that leads me to believe it may be running the firmware, the free firmware that Dave wants me to burn on here, because I stole files out of that firmware distribution thing, and it worked. So, yes, let's reformat this whole thing again. Disk management. Gerald says, I had no idea Gotek was so complex. Me either. It shouldn't be. Mind you, it's also totally just because I'm dumb, too. Okay, see, it's still seeing... So Windows sees this as just a nice FAT16 drive. Which is very strange, because Linux sees it as crazy bullshit. Oh, things are on fire. Cool. Don't worry. That's just how it goes around here. Ooh. That's actually pretty impressive. We have one that goes off all the time when we're cooking. And that one's unplugged. My wife is cooking. I don't mean that to be a dig. I just mean it. She's cooking. That's almost certainly what's up. There we go. Right, we formatted this. It's done. Now let me do the whole thing again that I had already was doing. And there it goes again. Yes, take the flash floppy crap. Open it up. HXC compat mode, sure. And I literally just took this and put it on the root. And WinE. There we go, that's what I'm looking for. And I hate this quick access screen so much. Okay, so we throw that on here. And then throw our disk image on here. Theoretically. Where did I even have that image? Oh, it was directly on the disk. Okay, so let's save as this to, I guess, to the disk. Or to the drive. And see if this much works, or at least it returns. I don't know how enjoyable that is on stream. I don't know how that's coming across. It's probably very loud. Sorry. Okay, so theoretically, we're back to where we were before, but now we have the bootable image on there. Maybe. Let's eject this shit. So let me look at it again really quick. Okay. There appears to be a disk image on there. It appears to be set up the way it was before I started futzing around with all this stuff, and it was actually showing me sector data. So how's about we give it another try and kind of forget the second floppy for now. I just caught Redgeck says 1-bit sound synthesis, very retro, very applicable to stream. Yeah, that's my background music. You know, I keep trying to get music on here, but it keeps getting flagged, and this is what I've gone with. So let me know if you're liking it, if you want more of it, if you want remixes. Okay. Oh, it still didn't fucking work. 0, 2, 3. I'm high. This is the most chaotic stream, I think, in the history of this stream. 0, 3, FE. Doodly doot. Doodly doot. Huh. Let me make sure that address is right. 0, 3, FE. Doodly doot. Doodly doot. Okay, it's different every time. That makes me feel good. What? I mean, I guess potentially. No, that doesn't make any sense. Why would that change? But maybe because I put in the address wrong. But 03 FE. Let's just make sure. Oh, because it was key repeating. I didn't see that. Okay, actually, no, that's still bad. It still has the old disk image on there. Oh my god, this is the worst thing. This is the worst thing that's ever happened. This is supposed to be the easy way, you guys, and it just keeps giving me the old floppy data, you monsters. I'm going to read some chat and get my mind off of this. You absolute bastards. I guess apparently we're flashing the Gotek. Somehow, maybe. This is nonsense. Yak shaving is real, said Redgeck. I know yak shaving is a saying, and I have already forgotten what it means. Then what's on fire? Fire! Which one of your richer computers just blew a reefa? Thankfully, none of them. This is not a drill, says Francois. Coding Projects and Stuff says she burned the Hot Pockets. No, it's a nicer night than that. Hot Pockets are Friday movie watching food. Taco Man said, I think the Gotek burnt his brain. Wereworm says, the roof. The roof is on fire. Cliff Cheney says that sound is making my cats go crazy. Sorry. I like how Halion said, why are you not concerned? It's because the fire alarms go off all the time in this house. And there's 2 other people in the house. So if they're not freaking out, I'm not freaking out. Misty West says, I hear fire alarms from your window. I think you should get out. No, I burn with the computers. The captain goes down with his ship. Yeah, Wereworm is talking about the rogue beep from the low battery. That is always annoying. Gerald said, I thought it was on my end at first. Had a heart attack. I'm so sorry. Wereworm said, is it the old image? Maybe the Gotek formats it like this. I reformatted the entire frickin' drive, so it has to be like on flash on this thing or something. Yak shaving. Any apparently useless activity which, by allowing you to overcome intermediate difficulties, allows you to solve a larger problem. Okay. My sub goes too low. The 2 other people thinking there are 2 other people here. If they're not freaking out, I'm not freaking. Oh yeah, they're also thinking that, and that's how we all die together. Miss Hewitt says, "All right, I'm gonna go play some VR. So bye. I don't blame you. Get out of here. Have fun. Always good to have you." Red Gex said, "Do not do a quick format." Fine. Wait. Okay. So. The other thing is, I'm pretty sure I was looking up, and like there wasn't good documentation on flashing the firmware on the Gotek either. So let me see if there's that. What was it? Flash floppy? Yeah. Flash floppy Gotek programming. The wiki. Why, yes, the wiki, please. To flash the Gotek, you will need a special USB cable with USB-A connectors on both ends, or a USB to USB USA if you have connect it to the thing. Oh, you program it through the USB-A header? That is pretty good. Ooh. Yeah, I actually might be able to use that. Heck, I think I have a USB-A to USB-C for something. Oh, I know where it is. It's on an HDMI dongle that I have. And then... Oh, you know what we can use? Which one is less chaotic? Both my keyboards have USB-C cables, so let's just steal one of those. All right, the internet is having me plug a USB-A into a USB-A, and I'm just going to do it because I'm an idiot. Before connecting the cable, you need to strap it to programming mode. Use a short wire to short the 2 leftmost pads on the thingy. I see them. I have wire. I think this might just work. Nope. Yes. Okay. They say this is what to do. They are saying it. I'm not saying it. They are saying it. Okay, that seems like a thing. And download the ISP drivers and program utility from the Archery website. So I guess I'm going to do that. Cool. The website has completely changed. Is that what I'm understanding here? Resources, download. ISP. Let's just control F. ISP. In system programming tool. Sick. That seems good. Tools, ISP. Yes. In system programming tool supporting AT32 MCU. In system programming tool supporting AT32 CPU. Yay! Unpack it, install drivers, then connect to the Gotek, then run the programming utility. Cool, cool, cool. Do a bunch of stuff. We'll get there once I have installed all this crap. Well, let's just start with Artery DFU driver install. Here, how about we extract all? Sure. Go for it. I was told I would need a special programmer. I disagree. All right. Hopefully they're not hacking me. Fingers crossed. Redgeck says, I mean, I'm guessing, but quick format just rewrites the fat tables, doesn't change the other data. Although if you're reading the first sector only, that shouldn't matter. Well, I'm formatting the USB stick, which then has floppy images on it. So I'm not formatting a floppy image. I'm formatting the USB stick. Gerald says, I don't know what's real anymore in regards to reading the floppy sector. Me either, Gerald. I'm sure it's buffered on here in some way, in that when this is not formatted the way it wants, it just is falling back to reading the old data that it already has cached or something. Wareham says, what about using the Windows program from Gotek to format the drive? You'd think I would have stayed on the website for more than a couple minutes, but no, I can't do that, apparently. Maybe Gotek stores magnetic charge somewhere? Yes, magnetic flux, 100%. Dave says, which chip did yours have? Fuck if I know, Dave. I'll have to open it up, and I don't want to. Redgeck says, in before he burns out the Gotek and fire alarms trigger for real. And Eric Stern says, Schrodinger's floppy sector. Correct. Worm says, by the end of the stream, we will have an NES emulator running on the Gotek. Everyone supports this outcome. Very good. All right. Driver was installed successfully. Please restart the computer. Well, we're going to see if I can get away without doing that, because I am using this computer to stream, and it just now occurs to me why people spend a shit ton of money having a separate computer that they stream their actual computer from. But too late now, buddy. Okay. Now let's see about this thing. Oh, now I plug it in. Are you ready? Are you freaking out? I hope so. Okay. That's a thing that's plugged into a thing. I missed. Did something pop up on the desktop? I don't know. We're just gonna go for it, man. Yep, it said that this might happen. We're gonna run it anyway because unsigned code is the shit. Switch your Gengo to English, they say. Interesting. Port type USB DFU, was that even an option? It is. Yay. And it looks like it even detected it. Yes, it has. Look at that, you guys. Come on. So easy. Click the next button until you get to a screen with many options. Nothing but great documentation today. Not that I'm known for writing better documentation, so I shan't bitch, but... cool, fine, whatever that means. I'm just going to do what they say and keep clicking stuff. Sure, whatever, seems fine. I saw FAP as a column in there, so that's normal. Now we need to erase the old firmware and disable flash protection. Select the Enable Disable Protection option and click Next. Okay. Where is that, mind? Probably down here, where I have to scroll to. Protection, disable. Just says access protection, whereas the screenshot says read protection. Is that a problem? And click next, and it says it's going to warn me about some shit. Warning will be shown about completely erasing the flash memory. Click yes. Yep. So This is probably going to be completely hosed now, which is super cool. Failed to open DFU device. Failed to open DFU device. That's not what I like to see. Do I just run it again? What do you want from me? Yeah, this one. Yes, please. That all seemed to work out. FAP and EP. Okay. So all of our FAPs are protected, but none of our EPs are protected. Just so you know. Was there like something else I was supposed to do? Because this definitely doesn't say the same thing. And I only have one option. What y'all say? Oh, yeah, because Dave says there are two possible chips, AT32 or STM32. I mean, this seems to, yeah. I might have to restart, but I don't want to because that would result in a whole separate stream. Redgeck says, imagine having a non-monolithic kernel, NT, and not having KLD load or insmod like some other monolithic kernels, BSD or Linux, to load drivers at runtime. Yeah. I mean, this is why, like, in this day and age, having to restart my Windows honestly surprises the living fuck out of me, because most things you don't have to anymore. Because of that reason. Because NT is beautifully modular and will just, like, reload whatever's been loaded module-wise, but... Cliff Cheney says, 1:24 a.m. here, but it's the start of a 4-day holiday, so I am staying up till the end of this stream, unless you restart. Yeah. About that. What do I do? I mean, it really seems like I don't need to, because it's detecting the damn thing. I guess we can do a double confirmation on this thing. And I mean, it's telling me roughly the message that they were telling me it should be telling me. Oh yeah, okay. Second time is the charm, folks. Do I hit back now? Okay, cool. Yay! All it took was me kvetching about it for a while. Click back, choose download to device. Yay! I have more options now. That seems good. And let's actually extract the flash floppy, because I don't think I have extracted this anywhere. Here we go. Hex. And... okay, so here's the question, is what MCU do I have? And I bet it told me somewhere on here. Maybe if I go back a few steps. AT32F, what are my options? AT32F415, that is what I have. Oh look, all my FAPs are N. Cool, okay, sick. So I want the first one, STM105. Where do I put the add? Okay. Add. Get the appropriate. Don't use an inappropriate flash file. That would be inappropriate. Hex. 415. Sick. And then verify after download. Yes, very much so. Please. Do not enable any reader-write protections. I shan't. Looks good. Does it look good to you guys? It looks good to me, I think. Check everything, click next. There will be another warning about your firmware being unsafe if you don't enable the read protection. Just ignore it, bro. In the next window, it'll tell you stuff, and then you're done. Okay. Ah, yes. Security of the downloaded code is not guaranteed. One moment. I am being called. You know what? Dinner is ready again. It just keeps happening. Okay, well, let's at least... I'm going to try and see if we can get floppy images on there and fucking get something going. And then I'm going to eat food. Cool. Close. Disconnect. Wire out. There we go. And let me see about... Well, this USB stick should better frickin' work now because it has a config for flash floppy on it. So, better fucking work. I think we may have just gotten bizarrely lucky with it working at all the first time. Oh, it says F-F, which I assume means flash floppy. So that's different and new, and it seems to be working. So... Oh. Floppy drive back in. Whoops. Isn't my face red? Okay, let's try this again. Look at that cute little FF. Oh. It was there, I swear. You can do it. You can do it. You can do it. Why are you taking so long? Is that a failure? What the fuck just happened? 200. Okay, Garbo, interesting. Gonna give it a hot minute to think about this for a sec. Geek says Multics supposedly supported offlining and onlining CPUs at runtime, and Windows needs to reboot 2 to 3 times to update. Fun thing about VMS and VAC systems is supposedly you can just add and remove shit to a VAX cluster on the fly, which is super cool. Which of course you can because it's enterprise hardware, but Cliff Cheney says, but diff Garbo? Because I don't love how long this takes, and then it just kind of takes a shit. Oh, has it read a sector this time? Maybe it's just because our code is so marginal. That would be the nicest outcome. Still weird Garbo. Oh, I wonder if it's because it just barely worked with the other firmware, and this firmware isn't quite as lenient, because that looks like status data. 40 means a failure of some sort, and usually we got 4010, and 4010 was the underflow overflow situation. But we just have 40.000, so that's fun. I don't know. I gotta go though, which is kind of a bummer, because this was supposed to be the it just works fun stream. The best thing is, I bet if I had just like not worried about trying to do 2 separate floppy images, one that boots and one that doesn't boot, and just gone with the one that boots and just done it, we would be having so much fun right now. We wouldn't even be worrying about this. But now Now we're having trouble with the Gotek because we just can't win. But I do seriously have to go, so I shan't even read chat as much as I want to. It's like my favorite part about doing these streams, but I love my wife more than you, even though I always say, see ya, love ya. Good. Oh, before I go, just because there are a good number of people on here, sorry, one thing. If you didn't see it in my YouTube social feed, we're thinking for fun, because there are other things that like people want to see for shits and giggles, and there's other stuff that I want to play with too. So without getting off track on this, but also knowing that there's not a rush on this anymore, because we're not like trying to get it ready for VCF or anything, so we can kind of just futz around and it'll get there when it gets there, because we're on friggin' episode 43, so who cares? Gonna make Fridays fun Fridays. We're just gonna do a thing. We're gonna play with installing BOS on the new Power Mac on Friday. So just so you know to expect that, and that Fridays are hopefully going to be a great day to tune in. Anyway, still not reading any chats, and as I said before, see ya, I'll love ya, and bye.